I got my Gimme Cloud Talk shirt, like connecting in the clouds
Oh, nice.
shirt.
I know I was gonna wear mine and I couldn't find it because of all the.
all the cons- all the All right, we are live and streaming on today. We're streaming now. We've got a Twitch channel now,
Ooh,
Amy. We
yeah.
set us up on Twitch, so we're streaming on Twitch, the Connecting in the Clouds YouTube channel, as well as on LinkedIn right now. So we pulled Twitter off because I only have 3 streams on StreamYard. So I had Twitch took that one over. So which is fine because it was streaming on my Twitter account anyway. So
Right.
so
There
now
you
we've
go.
got Connecting in Clouds on Twitch and Connecting in the Clouds on YouTube as well. So as well as our Connecting in the Clouds group. So welcome everybody to today's Connecting in the Clouds as part of the Global Azure event. So I'm really excited to do that. Let me change the little banner up there to Connecting in the Clouds.
I can tell you juggling multiple hats right now.
Juggling it all. Yes, got it all going. So yeah, welcome Amy. You missed our premiere, and
I know.
then
Sad.
Shannon misses our Global Azure session.
We
So
might be the same person. I don't know.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're both in Chicago. You're in close proximity, or we got some sort of shapeshifter between you two.
Right. Yeah.
So well, I'm glad you could join me today as part of our Global Azure session. I thought we'd talk a little bit. I saw you posted some things yesterday about some updates and things around Azure VMware service, and thought maybe that'd be a good topic as we're talking about Azure and bringing Azure into the conversation globally with Global Azure, which is fun. I think I don't have you ever done a session on Global Azure in the past, Amy?
I need to. Yeah.
Yeah, these are fun. Global Azure, I think this is my 4th year. Like when I was first getting involved in community events, I got involved with the Ireland user group, the Dublin user group, and did a session and did some moderating on there. It was one of kind of my first big global events that I got involved in. What's really cool about it is it's put on by a bunch of Microsoft MVPs, a bunch of MCTs, and user groups all across the world. So it's awesome. It's by the community for the community. So the over the course of Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, there's just a whole bunch of user groups either doing Azure sessions locally or virtually or hybridly. So so we're having I thought it would be a good idea for us to do one of our casts during it, as well as the user group that kind of that we have in and out a little bit with Gimme Cloud Talks. Use that website to push the sessions out onto the globalazure.net webpage and give everybody access to all the live streams from that standpoint. So it's really cool how and kudos to all the organizers that did all of the pull requests, that handled all the pull requests from I think it's like 600 some sessions going on over 3 days globally. So, and like I can't remember how many communities. I'll have to pull up the data here on because they've got the data out there. Yes, 6 continents, 471 speakers, 436 sessions. Let me present something real quick just to show everybody what's going on here. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, they even like you could use your put in the script that they gave everybody as the template. You can put your longitude and latitude, and it puts this little pin there. So I used used like the Lansing just to kind of make it central, and for Michigan, and we got the little pin there. Maybe next year I'll shift it a little bit closer to Chicago for everybody. But yeah. So you can see all these pins are all user groups across the world that are doing sessions here over the 3 days, which is really cool.
That's great. Oh, it's so exciting. I love it. I love community. I love, that's why it was great I was at Nutanix Next in Chicago, and it was just it was so nice to be back in person. I think it was about 2,000 people, and it was just the right amount of space and people, and I wasn't used to standing and talking so much. I was like losing my voice, but it was just it was great to run into old faces from like VMware, and you can't replicate that experience when you're remote. So
right.
It was great. I mean, I love the hybrid option for a lot of things, but like I said, nothing can replace in person, that connection you get with people. Or even I had women come up to me like how to get started in Azure. So that made me feel good, like just talking to them and mentoring them where to go. And so
yeah, I just found out that I'm approved to go to an event next month. Won't mention the name. It's one in California. It's a security event in California from somebody else. And I'm speaking, and I found out I'm speaking at ISC Squared's Security Congress in October, so that'll be fun. So nice vendor neutral event.
Yeah, there you go.
I will mention the name. ISC Squared's not in competition with Microsoft or Azure.
That's what you can mention. This is a non, vendor.
Well, it is global Azure though that we're doing this. But yeah. AWS reinforces next month, so I'll be heading to California, I guess, for that, and presenting actually in their partner kiosk. So that'll be fun too. So.
Yeah, AWS had a booth and Microsoft had a booth, and we were talking. Yep. So there's only love.
We all know each other, and and people. I'm multi-cloud, so I gotta do things that way. We've got some. We do have some live. We do have some people on live that are posting from the chat. We got Alec, who's actually presenting for Global Azure on Give Me Cloud Talks later today. Got attendees from India, Mexico, Angelo, and Angola. Sorry. So yeah, wow. So
welcome.
So we are already connecting in the clouds, has a global following, we can say.
Yay. Love it. More diverse.
So let's talk a little bit about AVS and what's going on with AVS, because I had thought, like, since I know you and Shannon both have a lot of experience around the hybrid cloud aspect of things with AVS and Azure Arc and things, I thought that would be good for us to kind of talk to about today. And then I saw you posted an update yesterday on social media, so I'm like, wow, Amy might have something interesting to talk about too around this, rather than just high level overview kind of stuff. So
right, yeah, Azure VMware Solutions, great. The brief intro of it, it's bare metal host hosted in Azure, but with the look and feel of VMware vSphere client. You connect using your HTML client to vCenter. You have NSXT, so all the same interface that you're used to, so you don't have to reskill and learn Azure skills. I mean, you can do stuff in the portal as well, but it's really to take, so if you're used to your on-premises tools, and then you can use them in Azure as well. But what's cool is we announced a new region in Qatar, so that's out, because everyone's always asking for more regions. And then coming in, the 17th, to Azure Azure Gov areas, Virginia and Arizona will be live. So in the Gov Cloud, so that's great too. I know people keep asking about stretched clusters, that got pushed back a little bit, so I think that might be like a June timeframe with vSAN. And then there was just a great blog post on using Azure NetApp files with Horizon VDI in AVS. So it just shows how much you can utilize different tools with AVS and different partners even. And so it's a great blog post by a coworker of mine. So it's in that update. And I can share it later. But AVS is awesome. I mean, I'm kind of biased because I love Azure and I love VMware. But you can do a lot that you can do on-prem in the cloud, and also use the coolness of Azure. You have the backbone. So you have, get a Microsoft Defender, Azure Monitor, Azure Arc, because that you can then have your VMs that are on-prem into Azure Arc and then see everything in one pane. So that's what's cool.
What this was an interesting thing because we were going down the route at one point around the whole VMware on on the cloud kind of aspect of things. We actually had a
Hmm.
customer that we were starting to migrate, and then they decided just to go native
Oh,
in Azure. And I was just kind of wondering, I have my own thought in terms of the use case and everything from that that aspect, but coming from a Microsoft perspective, especially
hmm,
where obviously getting customers into Azure and getting the ACR and everything's obviously important from a revenue perspective. um, what would be the the key drivers that you see when you're talking to customers that have a VMware vSphere environment
hmm.
versus and they want to migrate to the cloud? Why would you tell them, hey, go on AVS rather than just rehost and
Right.
replatform directly on Azure?
Yeah, because that's definitely an option. It's pretty much what fits the organization. So if maybe they're in a time crunch and they need to kind of burst into the cloud, so they just need new nodes, they don't want to buy new hardware and get into that business, or you're running out of data center space. So that's a use case. Disaster recovery, instead of a colo, you can have like 3 nodes up there ready to go. Um, let's see. Yeah, so the business continuity, disaster recovery, bursting, and then just migrating into the cloud, like as a first step, maybe a stepping stone. So maybe they're not ready to
Hmm.
refactor anything and go IaaS or PaaS, but they can just migrate, and their engineers already know those tools. They don't want to reskill yet. They don't have the time. So let's just get
Hmm.
into the cloud, get settled, and then like down the road, start learning about like Azure native services and start utilizing that. What makes sense? Maybe we can migrate something to a SQL managed instance or to Azure Files versus using the vSAN storage. Um, Items like that. So you can start integrating more and more Azure pieces if you want to, because a lot of people also, they think they'll be locked into something. So it's like, well, you don't have to be locked in, but you can migrate as is, or you can start optimizing for the cloud, which is really
Hmm.
great. Then you'll see that the benefits and the elasticity and the cost savings and
Hmm.
everything like that. So
I like how you brought up backup and disaster recovery, because even
mhm.
go back, geez, if I go back to like 2013 or something like that, or 20, it seems like that, maybe not that far, maybe 5-6 years ago. And I was a product manager in a company that did hosting. We had our own data center, did hosting, and we were trying to become get in the hyperscalers. And we were trying to build products that would accelerate a customer into the cloud. And
Mhm.
one of the key things was, and we utilize things like, if you have a VMware environment, or
Yeah.
utilize Veeam to
Right.
to initiate that the quickest and I think most definitive driver is, do you want to build, are you building a business continuity and a disaster recovery plan, and you don't know how
Mhm.
to do it, you can't afford to rent another data center or
Yeah.
co-loc space in 123net um, or any of the, or rack space or Equinix or things like that.
Right.
And the cloud is an incredible enabler for that.
Definitely.
Because you stand up the services, and you've essentially, you've essentially got kind of a hybrid warm hot site to a degree.
Exactly, right,
Or even it's kind of even a little bit cold in a way too,
right,
because but you're synchronizing that, and it gets you up and running, but you're not really paying, you're barely paying for it
right,
compared to
you're paying for
compared to buying,
storage. Yeah,
especially buying new equipment and renting space and things like that. You're getting it at an incredible cost. So it was like, the early stages where customers were like, well, I don't know if I want to go to the cloud. I'm like, well, do you have a backup and disaster recovery plan? How are you backing up any of your data or anything like that? That is such an enabler for cloud,
for sure,
for going into Azure. And so, so the fact that you brought that up, and like you said, that also, being somebody that, is involved in training and all of those things, the not skilled yet for Azure, AVS takes that skill set that most data centers people know, and it brings that continuity in skill set to support those environments, right?
Right. You know how to carve out vSAN data source. You know how to use NSXT. So it's all there already for you. It's just the back end managed by Microsoft, which is really cool. But like you said, that's great. You can use SRM to migrate over, or HCX is their mobility optimized platform for migrations. So you can kind of do like a live vMotion if you have the right connectivity. So that's pretty cool.
Sorry, go ahead, Amy. Go ahead.
Okay. No, Veeam brought me back to data center migration days. Back when I was at a customer, we had to overnight migrate, and we used Veeam to seed the VM, and then we would do a last replicate, power it on at 2 a.m. and make sure it worked. And so, yeah, we've come a long way from that. For
3 a.m. migrations and changes.
Yeah, those are fun.
I spent a year in a major automotive company as they were migrating from Cabletron to Cisco. And,
Cabletron. And we were now you're dating.
Yeah. But the lack of gray hair does not show my age. So.
Right.
but yeah, so yeah, those were fun, especially when you'd get get management on the call at 3 a.m. and they panic about something that doesn't seem to go as planned, and they want to do a rollback, and then you got to do it again like 3 weeks 3 weeks later, because you got to go through all the change control and the lessons learned and everything before you can actually reschedule. It's not like you can reschedule for the next day. You got to go through all of the red tape to reschedule it again.
Avoid the rollback.
Avoid the rollback.
Yeah.
I was on one of those, and I was in Grand Blanket, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and for some reason one of the synchronizations didn't work, and our engineers were trying to fix it, and everybody's on the on the call going, what's going on?
We're going work better, what's the update? I am working on it.
Exactly. Yeah, somebody's screaming in your ear always is good, right?
The update is, I'm trying to fix it.
give me a chance.
5 minutes of silence.
Yeah, exactly. Stop talking. But yeah, those are always fun. Glad I don't have to worry about those. That's the one thing that's nice about being in strategy or product management. I always said this is nothing in production is going to break when you shut down for the day. when you're in strategy and product management.
Yes.
you can walk away. That presentation or whatever you're working on will wait till the next day. Kudos to all of those engineers and delivery managers and everything out there, because you make the world continue to run.
For sure. We're the ComEd, the electricity, people they take you for granted until their stuff's not working.
Yeah, exactly. That's always the hardest thing when you're a managed service provider, is proving value to the customer, because the customer only sees the bad stuff, right?
When you're down.
How do you amplify the stuff that, hey, we've made sure these bad things didn't happen?
Right. We've been 99.99.
Yeah. You're seeing that 0.1. You're seeing that 0.1, and you're blaming everything on that around your contract, and why you're not, why you don't want to renew.
Stuff breaks. People make mistakes. You gotta,
People make mistakes. People do an update or change mistype a name that takes down production. I know we've had situations like that. Or
that's why I don't think I could ever work for a trade firm where millions are on the line with latency or something. I'd be like, no thanks.
Yeah. back off of that. No.
Even medical office, you have doctors, and you're like, oh my god, you don't want to interact with the tools and you know, like, mess anything up. So as long as no one's dying, it's okay.
So back to exactly. So back to AVS. So a customer's taken their environment, they've moved and maybe moved a portion, moving workloads utilizing AVS. They've got the, you know, vCenter and vSphere all in Azure, and now they want to become more cloud native and they want to move off of AVS. Mm-hmm. Is that an easier or the same type of migration that you would have to do if you're going on-prem to Azure directly, or is it an easier process?
It'd be easier because you're already in Azure, but you got to think of it as a separate data center, because it's a private data center. You have an express route connection, so you need, you know, like VPN gateway to connect it. You can't just like VNet in, you know, connect VNet peering and then connect in and migrate. So you'd still have to have a migration path, but that's what makes sense. Where if it's like something like large storage files, would make sense to, like, you know, can you utilize Blob and, you know, eventually have your environment communicating with Blob storage or Azure NetApp files, because it is like people are noticing, like, I don't want to add another node of compute when I just need more storage. So we do have a bigger host now that has more storage as well. Because even at the Nutanix thing, people were like, I want storage, not just compute. So that's definitely taken into consideration. So I think as you migrate into Azure and refactor, you're going to see the benefits of cloud. You know, maybe now you're more familiar, you have time to learn Azure and learn what a VNet is versus so just to refactor what makes sense. Maybe some stuff still makes sense to stay in AVS, or maybe, you know, just depending on the situation. I've seen people stay in AVS, you know, and they just like it. And because you can do the reserved instances, you know, like the 3 years. And if you just want to keep it status quo, that's fine. But then you can still use like our security products and, you know, Azure Arc, all the goodies that come with Azure. Or you can, start going Azure native and saving even more money, you know, like obviously licensing and stuff like that. So
or to speak VMware, speak points, right?
Right.
The point system.
Exactly.
It's kind of, to me, it's like trying to keep score in cricket or something like that.
Oh God. Don't talk about cricket.
I figured I'd strike a nerve with you on that one, Amy.
I do not understand that game. Those of you in India, you need to tell me, because my husband watches it. And I'm like, wait, that guy's running back and forth fast. That guy's throwing, you know.
It goes on. The scoring system's completely different than baseball, than American baseball. So
I love that they break for tea in some of them. I'm like, oh, a tea break, you know. It's great.
Now, and it was getting to that with baseball, and now they got the pitch clock and everything like that to speed things up.
Oh, okay. It's like
baseball games are now like 2 hours and 15 minutes again. Like it's like the 80s.
Right. Oh, I know. Before you didn't know when you're going to be home. It could be 4 hours. It could be an hour. You know. So yeah.
I actually have a question from Mukesh in India. Speaking of India, do you have data center as a service where I can create Azure replica with white labeling and sell a multi-load environment? It's an interesting question.
Concept. Yeah.
I think, you know, where you would find something like that, it would be, I mean, my company kind of has, you know, those like hosting providers, like my parent company Atos, you know, the big hosting companies, even companies like I think Rackspace and has moved to some of those models of data center as a service,
right?
You know, where you can kind of do a little bit of that. I don't know. I mean, Azure kind of is a data center as a service, I would think. You know, it's kind of how I think of it. And you know, I don't know about white labeling. I don't think you can't really put your logo on anything. Thinking about that from a white label perspective. Like, you know, some other like hosting providers will do that with with their data center, they'll
Right.
carve out a piece of their data center services. But you know, Azure, you know, the
Or maybe have,
hyperscalers are essentially a data center as a service. But yeah, the white labeling part, you know, you get into partner licensing and partner
yeah,
requirements. So
right.
so yeah, but
I
yeah,
mean, you could like create a portal, but that, you know, called the APIs and stuff. But yeah, it would still be Azure or it'd still be AWS.
creating APIs using using something
Yeah.
like VMware's Cloud Health, right?
Mhm.
Is one that we've used in the past for
Right.
you know, especially for a multi-cloud type of environment, to
Yeah.
pull in, utilize APIs from all of the cloud providers
Mhm.
and you know, a SaaS, and use it for, you know, FinOps, which is a big buzzword, financial,
Yep.
for financial management and understanding the cloud and properly sizing, you know, right sizing resources so that you're,
Yeah,
you know, like you had mentioned, like understanding where you can do reserved instances and things
right.
like that, which is a key way of saving things in the cloud.
For sure.
Which I'm feeling myself getting on my soapbox about cloud differentiator, you know, cloud drivers and
Well, yeah, I got in trouble for not in trouble, but like I was tweeting about the cloud, you know, why are people resistant to migrating to cloud? And people are like, well, I don't save money using the cloud. And I was kind of like, well, I see your point. And then won't name names, but in my hierarchy, it was like, why did you say that? You can't save money. I'm like, yes, but it depends on the use case. Like, if you
that's
migrate you're not going to
I
migrate some huge, you know, monolithic, you know, something that
when
doesn't make
I
sense. Of
when
course,
I
you're
did,
not
yeah,
going
you know,
to.
that's a one, and I don't, since I don't work for any of the companies, I can say, I'll say it.
Yeah.
You don't have to comment, Amy. I don't want you to get your hands slapped again. But when I do a workshop on cloud adoption, that's, you know,
Mhm.
especially around the you know, the Azure CAF
Yeah.
first driver, and it's not just Microsoft, it's the other ones too.
Yeah.
First driver for why you move to the cloud is cost. It says cost savings. And
Mhm.
like, if you are going to the cloud for cost savings, if that is your only driver, you're
Right.
setting yourself up for failure,
Right. I agree with
because
that.
you will not see cost savings right away, especially if you're doing a rehost. If you're doing a
Right.
lift and shift and you're moving everything as is from your data center, unless you have a data center exit and you have some sort of real driver that, you know, from a rental standpoint, you know,
Right.
from component to component or workload to workload, you're not going to save money. It's
Right.
not a
Well, because
cost
you're
savings.
running 2 data centers now. You
Yeah,
got
you're
cloud
running
and your
another.
data
Yeah,
center.
you're still running a data center. You're
It's
still
gonna
renting
be
space,
till you
whatever.
yeah.
It's once you start to go more cloud native, start to
Mhm.
refactor, replatform, build efficiencies, that's where you're and find ways to use reserved instances and
Right.
things like that. That's where you start to see cost savings. It's not, so that's why I always say, if you're, you know, if you're a you know, CIO, and you're going to the CEO and CFO and saying we need to move to the cloud because we're going to save money, you might as well update your resume while you're doing your migration plan.
No,
So
it's right. You'll eventually, like you said, you'll eventually see that
yeah,
ROI over
the fact
time.
I do not like seeing that as the number one, on there.
Right.
There's so many, you know, find the business drivers, find the business reasons why you want to
Right.
do it. Like
For
you said,
sure.
disaster recovery, business continuity, you know,
Right.
redundancy, resiliency, you know,
And then
stronger, more, the elasticity for your, you know, if you're doing e-commerce websites to,
right.
you know,
Or our
to
security is really
and then
robust.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
security. Yeah, I guess I should bring up security
You
since I
should.
can't do the job.
Uh,
But yeah,
yeah, you get the DDoS protection, you got the, you know,
you got instant DDoS protection, you got, you know,
yeah.
certificate management, all of those cool things, and Key Vault you know,
That's why I would
that'll do.
chuckle when people were like, "Well, I don't wanna migrate to cloud because of security, like, my data center is secure." And I'm like, "I don't think you have, like, this, you know, we almost, like, have moats around and trucks can't, you know, go through the fence." You know, we have pretty good security, physical
Yeah,
and, you know.
you got governments and the
Yeah.
top enterprises in the world are in Azure.
Right,
Uh,
right. I think
they
we're running
probably have some more security controls that you might have.
right, right. I don't
That was
wanna, you know,
I
knock you
was
down, but yeah.
I to go back to talking about vendor neutral and ISC squared, I was attending virtually their security congress last year, and it was interesting because, you know, rather than sitting in a ballroom, you know, where you're focused on the speaker, you got the chat that's going on, right?
Oh,
so
cool.
you got these security practitioners and CISOs during a cloud discussion, a cloud session, saying the only thing I know about the cloud is that it's not secure. The only thing I know about cloud security is it's not secure. I'm like, oh, really? Are we?
Like,
we're still there. We're still there this many years later.
It's only if you make it unsecure and open up your ports to the web and like password 123.
Yeah.
You know.
Admin.
Right. Changed me. Then you're not gonna be secure, and doesn't matter if you have, you know, Alcatraz, you're gonna have that weak link.
Yeah, you're only as strong as your weakest link. That's still the case.
Usually humans, right?
It's just these people that are, you know, that don't feel that, like, I don't control the things behind in my four walls anymore. So and you know, that's something that, from a standpoint, a lot of people just within, you know, we have like 6,000 cybersecurity people in my group, and you know, within my department, you know, in my company, and you know, there's still pockets of people that have just been doing cybersecurity for 30 years, and they're just uncomfortable with the cloud and the security within it. Just, you know, but it is, you know what you know, and as you know, if you like you said, you know, Microsoft hosts for the biggest companies in the world, and for governments, you know, so think of the level of security that they need to have just to host those types of organizations, and think about your organization, and do you adhere to those same levels of standards and those requirements?
Right.
Really what it comes down to. So I always bring back to, there was a great comment made at Ignite by somebody by during a security session that was you know, companies that say they weren't breached either don't know they've been breached, or they're lying.
That's
somebody has found their way into your environment one way or another. So you either don't know it's happened yet, or you're lying about it. So
you've seen all the like the Uber breach, and like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, when Uber was breached, I always like to use the anytime I'm doing an identity and access talk, I use the Southeastern pipeline, because that's a perfect example, because they found out it was two people that weren't with the company that had global admin rights and no multi-factor authentication. And like, you know, and like a very easily guessable password, like password.
Right.
So I mean, all the bad things around identity and access security was all in one. It was like everything.
Storm. Right. Yeah, that's why at least at Microsoft you have us detecting that, like, hey, somebody's trying to, you know.
If you have P2 enabled.
Right. Now even the MFA stuff, like where people are getting
hammered,
like authenticate, and it's not you, and then they finally just like, fine, yes, and then
brute force MFA attacks. They're a thing.
They know, like, annoy the human, and you'll make it
annoy the human,
because we're the weakest link. The technology's there. It's always by human networking. Like, I've seen those shows too. The guys like, I bet I can infiltrate your network, and they're like, no, we got this and this. And what does he do? He like pretends to be help desk, and you help someone, and then you get someone's password, and then, you know, it's always
that was exactly what happened on the Uber breach. That was because there I think the person that did the attack actually put on social media how they went about the attack. They completely documented how they got into Uber.
And then there was an admin password in a PowerShell script in plain text, so that they got access to it. I was like, oh my god,
so many things.
So many, Again, you're only as strong as your weakest link, and if you're, you know, storing your admin password and plain text, that again, it's not okay. Even though it's on your server or on your desktop, and no. hash
leaving it in your web code or something like that.
Yeah, right. Again, I'm sure I've made a mistake, and I'm not saying I'm angel of security, but yeah, I try to do my best.
That's why passwordless helps me. So
Yes.
and MFA, it protects me against my insecure passwords.
Right, exactly. I know. I'm sure yours is I love security, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. But I'll use a heart sign for something,
right.
Instead of an A or something like that, yeah.
Right. Yeah, when can we use emojis and passwords?
Yeah, that'd be fun. I mean, one of the greatest secure password tips that I saw that I never really thought of was the put a comma in your password.
Oh.
Because most of the time when they are doing these reconnaissance attacks and find a way in and download all the passwords in an organization, they're downloading it to a CSV file. So a comma in your password breaks it into 2 fields, and it's unusable to the attacker. So
that's cool. That's a good idea.
That's a really but I think some people, some companies don't allow commas in your password, so that ruins that completely. But
I love that. It's like no special characters. You're like, great. You can use apostrophe, and that's it. Okay.
They're teaching. I don't know if they've taught your kids, but my daughter came home one time and she had this super secure password that she did, with all special characters, changing the letters into numbers and things like that. I'm like, they taught her that in middle, in 6th grade. She was like, I'm like, very good. So she uses better passwords than I do.
Right. Well, they're growing up with the technology. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the way. Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know what my daughter's password is for. Well, I'll see. I'll have to see. It's probably like I love cats. I don't know.
What my daughter uses is she uses phrases she can remember.
Yeah.
That are from movies or whatever, but she then changes all the characters around. So so it at least takes a little bit more guessing, and she makes them more than 12 characters long and all of those things. So
yeah, I always liked where someone said, think of a poem or a paragraph and then just use the first letter of each sentence create, your password too. That's always good.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, just create your own little phrase code, right?
Yeah.
Right. Your own Da Vinci code there. Try and break it down.
I do want to plug, since we were talking about AVS, I do have a webinar coming up June 6th, and I believe it's 10 a.m. Pacific. So we'll be going a look inside AVS. Me and Prasad, he's a super technical, great guy on the AVS side, runs a whole team, the networking portions and all that. So
do you have a link that you can put in chat?
Yeah, I should.
Once you find that, put it in chat. It looks like the chat's we got chat linked.
Chat.
Go into.
You think I haven't used StreamYard before, but
go where comments are, and you can see where people are chatting and It's like I'm not sure if it'll go into LinkedIn. I'm not sure if it goes directly into LinkedIn, but I know it'll be on the YouTube channel as well as looks like I think Twitch. It looks like they link the chats with Twitch.
Right.
We get the link. It looks like we get the LinkedIn chats, but I don't think it's two-way with LinkedIn yet.
Gotcha.
So everybody that's listening on LinkedIn we'll have to go to the Connecting in the Clouds YouTube channel or Twitch channel to find the link and to find all that. So
yeah, and what's hard with these webinars though is you don't know what level people want. Like you get, you might get complaints that it's too high level, but then you get complaints it's too not, deep enough, or it's too deep, and it's like so you try to make it work for everyone. So in 45 minutes. So
I always try to do that that's always my caveat at the beginning of some sessions, especially when I do an Azure or security fundamentals. It's like, okay, this is not a deep dive. This is high level. This is the describe portion of Azure certification program.
Right.
So do not you know, especially if it's, you know, a class that I'm doing that I'm getting evaluated on. I don't want to comment that this was too high level, because I'm making it perfectly clear it's high level up front.
Right. Set expectations, right?
Yep, set proper expectations. We're not going deep dive. We're not going to teach you how to do, you know, click around in Azure. May do a few demos, but it's not going to, you know, you can't be an Azure administrator from an Azure fundamentals class.
Right. Okay, I sent you the links. I don't. Oh, okay. I'm not logged in, so I can't.
Oh, I see. You just joined.
But yeah, I'd be happy to answer questions. Whether it's level 50, level 300, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
But you have 45 minutes to kind of cover a lot, you know.
Yeah, those are always fun. Yeah, especially some of those I mean, the great thing about Microsoft is there's always a webinar going on, right? There's always something that you can learn. You know, one of the other things I've gotten involved in that's really cool is the learning rooms, which is on the Microsoft Learn communities, are always really cool. You know, because and they're building more as we go. I've got a cybersecurity room. You know, you can request to be part of the room, and then you know, and then they give you a Teams channel essentially, and you're all on a Teams channel. And that's so yeah, there's, you know, a whole bunch of MVPs, MCTs, Microsoft technical trainers that are all, you know, that have their own rooms, and they're about different things. So, you know, I'm doing everything cybersecurity except everything security and compliance except for Purview, because there's another MVP, Raphael, that is in Germany that had already laid claim to Purview. So he's got the Purview. You know, Brian Gorman has one that's on developing as well as fundamentals.
That's great.
You know, there's like I said, there's a Microsoft technical trainer room. So, you know, with a group of technical trainers that are Microsoft FTEs that have a room. So it's, you know, go to, if you just do your, you know, do a web search and do Microsoft Learning Experts Directory, you can find all of those rooms. So
that's great.
Really, so it's a really cool
thing. All the options now for learning, and
exactly. It's taking it to the next level, right? You know, you got the Learn modules and everything for certifications. Now they're giving everybody access to other professionals, as well as building kind of community that everybody can kind of share things. You know, some of the rooms are doing like, you know, monthly meetups and things like that. That's you know, to talk about training and certifications. I haven't gotten to that level yet. But you know, I'm doing a lot of sharing around things that not just in Microsoft, but you know, I'm an ISC squared trainer as well. So showing things around ISC squared. You know, ISC squared has a really cool program where they're trying to get 1 million people certified in cybersecurity with their fundamentals essentially program. And so they're offering free training, free vouchers for the exam. And if anybody's ever taken an ISC squared exam, that is a benefit in itself. You know, that is, you know, because their courses and their courses for certification and their vouchers are not like Microsoft courses and vouchers. They're at a much higher scale and higher level. So getting to that point, plus you can become an ISC squared candidate and get you pay essentially the member fee, which is, they call it the maintenance fee, annual maintenance fee, but it's really your member fee without having a certification. And then you get member benefits too. They're doing all these skill builders that they're having volunteers actually build these that are creating this content that they're building these modules out of. I've done a couple of them as well, that are around cloud security, around governance, risk and compliance, you know, all those key areas around security that that are vendor independent, that give you a really good base knowledge and base level of, you know, cyber, if you're interested in it.
Right.
I see Shannon has joined our chat. Hello, Shannon.
I guess we're not the same person, unless that's me on LinkedIn.
Oh yeah, yeah. You could certainly spoof her and spoof that. So especially since she now uses the created icon of herself rather than her actual picture.
Oh
so
yeah, that was a little
easily do that.
Is it Shannon?
Is it Shannon? Yeah. All right, everybody. This is the key. We got to make sure in 2 weeks that I get both of them on this call, so that we can prove that they aren't that they aren't one person, that they are two people.
She just wants to heckle us. But yeah, when's our next episode?
Our next episode will be in 2 weeks.
Okay,
great. Same time, same channels. Like I said,
channel?
we if anybody likes Twitch, we're trying to create our own patch and switch here.
Right. You like the cool kids,
Yeah. Want to be like the cool kids.
Like Discord. I'm sorry. I'm gonna show my age. I'm like, oh my god, Discord. So
not using Discord. Not using Discord. We're using Twitch.
Right.
I do have a Discord. I do have a Discord Security Pro channel that.
Do you?
Pact asked me to help manage, but I still haven't found how to really enhance it and really make it something. So yeah, I guess it is. I guess I'm not cool enough. I'll have to have my 13-year-old help me.
Right, exactly.
And no, I'm not doing TikTok. I have enough channels and things.
Oh, too funny. Yeah, we can use Discord if there is demand.
Yeah, Shannon's selecting Discord.
Oh, okay. Folks love that.
She keeps suggesting things. Like that's how we got a Twitch channel. She's like, we should use Twitch. I'm like, okay, I'll create a Twitch channel.
She knows things, yeah.
She knows.
She was on that 420 show, so that
the 420,
Discord and Twitch.
Not 420, the 425, right?
425. That was a different.
That's a different subject entirely.
Like when we're trying to find our name, the clouds, anything cloudy kind of could be 420 or it could be tech.
Exactly.
Got to make sure you're joining the right channel.
Yeah.
What kind of cloud?
We found that out when we were trying to create our name, right? We like
this looks cool. Oh.
Apparently other people outside of tech have a different term around clouds.
Right.
Use clouds in a completely different manner.
High in the clouds. Yeah. Wait, no. Yeah, 425 show. Sorry about that, Shannon. Give me a lot of crap later.
Yep. Oh man. All right. Well, I think we can wrap things up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was a good discussion around AVS and some of the benefits around there, and then we kind of just went off on our own tangent. But hey,
right.
It was fun. It's always fun. And hopefully people gain some knowledge and some information out of that as well. So
right, and what not to do with your password.
What not to do with your passwords. Yes, gave some hopefully good password tips for anything. So for everyone to not do.
It was good to know about the security training, because I mean I know it's still like the biggest demand right now is cybersecurity roles. So knowing that IC2 is doing that, that's great. So,
yeah, if you go to ISC Square,
I'm messing up all the numbers.
Yeah, well, I mean ISC2, ISC Squared, whatever, and do 1 million certified in cybersecurity. That'll take you to the landing page where if you don't already have a credential. So I didn't qualify for it because I was already a CISSP, but if you don't have an ISC Squared credential, you're eligible for the program for free. So. And yeah, it's I mean the exams, it's a really cool exam. I took it blind without studying for it and was able to pass it, but I don't recommend it.
Little flex there.
Yeah, maybe I was preparing for the governance, risk, and compliance exam. And I just decided, hey, let me do these back to back and see how it goes. And it was good because I did not pass the CGRC exam, the one that I was studying for. I didn't pass, but I passed the entry level one. So I did go back a month later, a couple weeks ago. I did pass that one though. So
Yeah.
I am waiting now. Interesting thing also about ISC squared is you pass the exam and then you have to apply for the certification.
Oh, okay.
You have to
see if you're worthy.
The cybersecurity doesn't require that because you don't have any. Well, you still have to do the application process, but it's not. But for this one, you have to attest and provide essentially reason that you were, to show that you were, you've been involved in any of the domains for 2 years.
Okay.
And you have to get an endorsement from somebody else who has a ISC squared credential.
Wow.
So they've got to read your experience, endorse it, and then ISC squared has to review your application. So still waiting on that. That generally takes a couple to 4 weeks to do that. It's not as easy as a Microsoft exam where here's your badge when you pass.
Not baddie.
Not the exam itself. I mean the process. It's like you get to show your badge the day that you pass the exam.
Right. You're like, I passed, but I'm still waiting to get into the secret cool club with the handshake.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I haven't shared my badge on that, so yeah, fingers crossed. And I hope so because they're asking me to speak. I'm doing a webinar with them in a couple of weeks. I hope. Yeah.
You have an interim badge, like passed but waiting.
I have my score sheet. I have my score sheet that shows, or my congratulations sheet that says that, in my email that says congratulations on passing the exam. So that's always good. So I got that going for me.
Well, good job. Proud of you.
Thanks, Amy.
All right.
My love language is getting positive, is getting praise. That's my wife always tells me. She goes, "Aw." She goes, you want a sticker? You want a cookie?
Put it on the fridge next to the kids' drawings.
I'll be like Wallowitz. I did this chore. See, I got a star.
I did this, sir. Let's go out and eat.
Anyway, all right. Enough about me.
Okay.
So yeah, you got a webinar coming up next week. Any other big plans before we wrap things up?
No, June 6th is the webinar. Waiting to hear if I'm speaking at VMware Explorer. I think that comes out the 15th. They tell you if you've been blessed with a session. So other than that, that's my world.
So maybe next time we're live in 2 weeks. Some more events going on.
Good news,
talk about and go from there. So
awesome.
Very good. Well, great. Thank you, Amy, and thanks, Shannon, for joining and filling the chat up over the last 5-10 minutes.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one that called it the 420 show.
No, she did laugh though. She thought it was hilarious.
Not on my own
But yeah, very good. Well,
hey, I worked at that convention. My brain is like still recovering.
Yeah. Well, have a great weekend and good luck on the construction and everything. And
and happy Mother's Day to your wife. Yeah.
Yes, and happy Mother's Day to you as well.
Thanks. And Shannon.
all the mothers out there, including Shannon.
Yeah.
So yes, happy Mother's Day to everybody.
It's her first one, I think, too, Shannon.
I think it's her second.
Oh, it's a second? Oh,
yeah. Her second one.
Time goes by so fast.
Yeah, I know, right? Yep. So yeah. All the mothers out there, all the mothers in tech. We'll call it mothers in tech instead of
mothers in tech. Right? MIT. I guess.
No, don't want to get any copyright infringements, right?
Yeah.
Get a cease and desist orders from the Institute of Technology, right?
For second. Cool.
Well, but everybody, all the mothers have a great weekend. All of the dads, remember who made you a dad, and be nice to them and be extra nice to them.
Yeah.
Be always nice.
Always
to them.
Be nice to them. Let her have a nap. That's what we always want.
Give them a nap. Take the kids somewhere, especially if they're little ones.
Yes,
those are the ones that need naps. Once you get to teenagers, they don't want to be bothered with you anyway, so they stay away.
Exactly.
So, all right, everybody. Well, have a great weekend. I actually have another session on cloud security. We'll talk more about ISC squared here at the top of the hour. I'll be doing a cloud security presentation for Global Azure, and so. And then I'll be doing a zero trust architecture after that. So I'm online for the next 2 hours. to do sessions for Global Azure. And so enjoy your weekend, and we will, and Connecting to the Clouds will be back in 2 weeks. So we're going to go on a 2-week cycle, every 2 weeks at this time. So
Sounds good.
Exciting.
Yeah. See you then.
All right. Thanks, Amy. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.